Before we get into all the budgetary transfers, of which there are 9 of them, I'd like to get into old business, which is a non-agenda item. It's not on the agenda. It deals with the pipe plan. Here. And we can have a discussion on this. It would appear as a result of the survey and some letters we received, particularly from Jeffrey Milstein, an owner of the business on Wall Street, an architect, that it seems to me that the momentum is definitely in favor of, it's not in favor of tearing it down. It's doing what's needed to fix and restore. Now, we have the letter from John Schulteis back on November 30th, in which he gave us 4 options and recommended short-term actions was remove and repair the canopy of 43 to 45 North Front Street at a cost of $155,000. I've asked John to, because it's 60 days since that bid was given to us, to go back and try and verify that that bid is still good. He called him today, he doesn't have an answer. So what we can probably do is to, if we are in agreement, we could go forward with a resolution that would allow us to remove and repair the canopy at 43 to 45 North Front Street at a cost of $155,000, and then ask that the city engineer continue his work on the recommended long-term actions. But what I'm suggesting is that we commit, unless this committee feels that we should be replacing or demolishing the structures, which I don't think is the case, but I don't want to speak for everyone here, that we go forward with a resolution that says we can repair 43, 45 North Front Street up to the cost of this bid. If the bid, if it has changed, then we'll have to come back and vote on that again, or put it out for rebid or whatever. And then authorize the city engineer to continue to look at the estimated cost of repair leaks and perform column repairs and develop a program for on-town maintenance.
Well, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I think just the cost of tearing it down being more than repairs kind of, to me, that rules it out. I mean,
I would agree. Yeah.
Doug, I'm concerned about the cost of this repair. You know, I took a look at this structure. It's an overhang, mostly made out of wood. You know, $150,000 seems, I know I don't understand construction costs, obviously, but it does seem like a tremendous amount of money for one section of that, when you can, you know, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of money for that. Do we have other bids, or we just have one bidder on that? Do we remember?
I believe there were at least 2 bids, and the second bid was quite a bit higher.
Really, just 2 bids on that?
I don't know what it was, but John told me it was quite a bit higher. And I don't know the number.
You know, because I looked at that and I thought maybe, you know, $20,000 they could get a good carpenter up there to fix that. And I told the mayor that too, but he's, you know, I guess, you know, he said that that's not the case.
I think a lot of it has to do with the actual building and not just the pipe plan. You know, I think it affects the building itself.
So we're actually repairing the building too?
That was my understanding. We got to do some repairs on the buildings also, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that section? Because I think there's so much water damage to them. I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. But I thought there was gonna be some work on it.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Well, it's not only repair, it's remove and repair.
The whole thing's gonna be removed and then rebuilt, right? Is that
Yeah.
correct? That section?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this section is the one where, right by Snap and Beans, is this the section?
By what?
Where is this located?
Yes.
This is
Well,
Snap and Beans.
Yeah.
Hoyson's? All right.
And then we authorize this to go forward, assuming the bid is still good. If the bid is not good, well then we're going to have to get a new bid, get the rebid and vote on that. But if they hold the bid, I think we can pass a resolution to go forward to it. And then regarding the other things, as I talked with Kevin today, it depends upon what DOT comes back with how far we go after that. But I think we could get started on this.
So this is supposed to be for repair of one location.
Right. This was the option one in John's letter of November 30th. He gave us 4 options, one of which was to get going on something that's pretty well defined. Repair and remove the canopy section at 43 to 45 North Front Street for $155,000 in 3 to 4 months. And then there's options 3 and 4, which further evaluate other.
All the rest of
Yeah,
it.
and we could ask John to do that, but we're not committed to any expenditures beyond that. And we're waiting to hear, per Kevin's inquiry to DOT as to what they feel our responsibility is towards this.
And this is also in coinciding with the survey that went out and to the business people up there, right? This was coinciding with that as well, that survey that was sent out, and that people got back and it seems.
Yeah, I think from anecdotally, from what I've heard from the mayor, is that the survey, and what's been put in the Freeman and the Times, is that the survey is overwhelmingly in favor of repair. Now, I don't know if the individual members here feel otherwise, that no, we should not go in a direction, we should tear them down. I don't know if there's anyone that wants to speak in favor of doing that, but I don't, at the moment, I don't sense that that's the case.
My only thing is that, it's been stated, repair them, and what's the future cost of that once we repair them? And if we're gonna repair them, then is the city gonna be held responsible and for, X, Y, Z years, that if something happens, we gotta repair it again? I think we really need to look at that more closely. I mean, what about repairing them, and
I
do we
think we're
repair
asking,
and put a certain time frame in, that after that, it's no longer the city's responsibilities? I think these are all things that need to be looked at.
And who you want to be the building owner's responsibility?
Well, that's what I think we need to have some more conversation in regard to. If some building owners are saying that, that they don't want it anymore, and that, you have a majority of saying they do want it, where does that go? What happens with that? Some owners are saying, I don't want it anymore, and then some are saying they want it. Again, the city's gonna repair it. How long is that repair gonna go for? We're gonna be back here in another 10, 15 years, talking about again that we got now more money to repair it.
You're back here every year.
Sooner than that.
Every year.
Yeah, well, and I think we still really need to sit down. I know the survey, it was, majority of it was in favor of, keeping it existing, but I think we still need to have some more conversation in regard to where do we go from there.
well, I think we were asking John, asking John, city engineer, to have that conversation. What we're talking about now, I think, is just, if the bid holds firm, because it's over 60 days, if it holds firm at this $155,000, we go with that. And then ask John to go forward and answer a lot of the questions that you and others are asking. We're not committed to going any beyond that at all. Yes, sir.
Well, obviously, if it looks like we're going for repair and refurbishing, right? Why don't we get a bid on the whole entire project? Why are we piecemealing it out? Why don't we get the whole bid on the whole project? Why don't we give somebody a $400,000 project to do instead of just the $50,000 project to do?
The cost of repairing everything is gonna be way north of that.
Okay, so what, I'm just thinking, I'm not in the construction business, but, a bidder may say, you know what, that if we have all our equipment there, we have all our people there, and we're working on this project, we can come in at a lower bid on this section now, and maybe save the city some money.
The problem is that,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
remember that I think what John said is that we need to do a study.
Yeah.
And so it's unclear how long the study will take, unclear how much cost of the study will be, but it's very clear that if we're gonna repair everything that's related to the Pike plan,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a large amount of money. I
Yeah.
mean, a really large amount of money. And then the question is how much time are we gonna allow this particular section to be decrepit as it is and to remain dangerous as it is? So, and we've gotten back at the envelope estimate that tearing it down and getting rid of it would be about $800,000. I think John's pretty clear
The whole
that,
thing.
yeah, that,
I remember all that.
yeah, so, I
I'm
mean,
just saying, I'm just trying to, maybe we can save some money if we bid the whole project out and then, or whatever, or maybe the serious parts of it. You know, if this is one serious part, maybe there's another serious part, I don't know, Doug knows better, he went up and investigated that more than anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, are there, I mean, why have a contractor with all their equipment, all their people there just for one project? And we can go up there and maybe take care of 2 or 3 of these projects at once, or, you know, maybe get a combined bid. I don't know, I hope it works that way.
well, I would agree with you if we
Right.
had already done the study, if we had a real clear idea of what the total cost would be for fixing all the problems that were introduced at the last renovation. But I think the question is how long can we keep waiting on this one section? So, you know, if we were gonna decide to tear it down tonight, that would be one thing, we'd be getting rid of that section fairly soon, I think. But if we're gonna keep the Pike plan up, it seems like it's beyond time to take care of that section.
Yeah, and I think we've had enough discussions that this is kind of a hazard right now. I don't think we want to,
Is the public
knowing that, I don't think we want to set it aside and, you know, move forward with a whole bid and put this off for God knows how long it's going to take to get a bid for the whole project.
I mean, we've already, and again, we've had discussions about this section, I know people went out there and looked at that section or whatever and said, it is, I mean, like you said, it is a, you know, has liability. So, you know, we need to move forward with that. I'm just saying in regard to the rest of it, I think we need to have a, you know, good discussion about where we go forward after this.
Well, what I'm proposing is we pass a resolution to fix that section of 41 to 45, 43 to 45 North Front Street, if the bid we have is still valid. If it's not, it will be valid. And then going forward, we're asking John to continue to basically look at, study, forecast, but no commitments from us. But what I'm suggesting is we commit to doing this if the bid is still good.
Can I just, from what I understand, the Pike plan was the responsibility of the owners of the buildings at one time to take care of, right? Once they put them up, I believe the owners of the buildings, the Pike plan in front of their, was their responsibility. Some time ago, the city took on that responsibility because the thing was deteriorating and people were getting upset. Is that correct? So at one time, it was the responsibility of the building owners, and now it's no longer the responsibility of the building owners because the city has taken that responsibility on. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the way I see it. And I don't have a problem with moving forward. I'd like to get this section done, and perhaps we can discuss, and I don't mind discussing, you know, because we're taking this on, like you said, forever. You know, maybe we can build in some kind of a clause that after 10 years, the store owner is responsible for 10%, you know.
Or some kind of,
Something
some kind of
discussion
fee
about
to keep it maintained, maybe? You know, it is,
Right.
it is partial, you know, I don't know, it is attached to the
Yeah,
building.
yeah, and I understand the theory because we put it up and it wasn't put up effectively and it's causing damage, so I understand why we took it over, but we're gonna alleviate all those problems, hopefully.
Well, those problems will never go away when you have roofs and stuff.
No,
I mean, when you have
There's
a
gonna be
roof,
something
it's
else,
gonna, it's gonna leak eventually.
And it's not gonna last forever anyway, so we
Right.
are gonna be back here in 10 years looking at, you know,
Yeah,
substantial.
or maybe every year looking at it, right, some kind of repair.
Yeah, we should have that discussion, but I think tonight we wanna repair that one section.
I'd like to propose, and I haven't written this out in the committee report yet, that we go forward to repair 43 to 49 North Front Street in accordance with John Schulteis, city engineer's letter of November 30th, to repair this at a cost of $155,000, at a cost not to exceed $155,000.
Okay, can I just make one quick comment though?
Yeah.
When I spoke with John, he recommended 165. The 155, the bid did not include contingency. So he recommended the 155 includes the bid for the removal and the replacement, also includes monies for construction administration inspection costs, but he did recommend $10,000 for contingency. So, and I did draw up a committee report if
Okay,
you
all
want.
right.
So the motion is in, on the floor is now what?
165?
165, not
165, just to include 10,000 for contingency for the project. And I can read it to you. It would be authorized mayor to enter into contracts for the removal and replacement of the canopy at 43 to 45 North Front Street, including construction administration and inspection costs at a cost not to exceed $165,000.
John, you've been doing this a long time. Do you think there's any benefit in trying to get some other bids on this piece of property?
Well, we did get some other bids on it, and they were higher.
Again, I know I'm saying do it again. Do you see any benefit in that?
I see pros and cons of doing it again. You have an aged bid, the bid may not be honored as it is. You know, you have the additional knowledge that, you know, you have a second much higher bidder. You don't know what'll happen next time you bid. You could have the same two bidders, now that they have the information that they have from the last bid, or, you know, you could have 5 bidders, you know, we don't know. So,
Or we could have a person, the same 2 people that did bid higher.
you don't know. You know, it depends on how much work, you know, some of these contractors may have, you know, what other
Correct.
contractors may have freed up in the
Yeah,
meantime.
we're
You
also
don't
moving
know.
into summer,
Some more in
so
the spring season.
something better to get
Yeah.
started.
Before they start really getting all the work.
Right.
I see what you're saying, that actually, like John says, pros and cons. You know, they start getting, this is where they start getting really busy. And now they might be like, oh, this is gonna cost more now. Or we can't get to it right away.
You build a house for $165,000, yeah? I mean, they're putting an awning up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I know.
It's also, keep in mind that it's, you know, it's
Can I
also
read this?
prevailing wage.
I know.
The controller on behalf of engineering, authorized mayor to enter into contracts for the removal and replacement of the canopy at 43 to 45 North Front Street, including construction, administration, and inspection costs at a cost not to exceed $165,000.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Opposed?
I just want to be honest, we just gotta make sure we're moving forward with any other thing that, we're making sure we got good bids and see if we can get more than 2 people to bid. And
Well, I think that's covered in a cost not to exceed $165,000. You're right, obviously, you're right.
Because there's gonna be another one, there's gonna be another one, there's gonna be another one.
Right.
I didn't hear the vote. Was all in favor?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Aye, opposed? Abstentions? I hear 3 in favor. Other nay or?
Raise your hand in favor.
In favor? Thank you.
Sorry.
Let me just read this letter, and I don't think you have copies of it. I won't read the whole letter. It's from Jeffrey Milstein, who owns the photography studio on 331 Wall Street. And I won't read the whole letter, but as an architect, I can appreciate what the artist John Pike did. This covering created a special place that ties the street together visually and offers shelter from the elements. It brings to mind the beautiful colonnades of Europe with outdoors, cafes, shopping, and walking streets protected from the harsh sun that he names 3 or 4 in Venice and Paris and Florence. We have our own special place here with outdoor cafes, planters, and benches, a place where people come to sit and enjoy. And it concludes, And really, what other street in Kingston is nice to walk down on Wall Street on any day? So, I mean, you could, if anyone would like to see this letter. And personally, I've received many emails from owners, residents that are urging that we go forward to repair what's there. I don't think, other than, I think I had one person who's come at me and said, we don't need to do this. But it was, and then the survey seems to be supportive of this also. Hi, Jim.
Good evening. What number are you on?
Okay.
I have one more.
One more?
Because you have to do the transfer to cover it.
This, I think we got this letter, but does anybody want to see it? I think we got an email copy.
Public Control on behalf of engineering, authorize the utilization of fund balance to pay for the removal and replacement of the canopy at 4345 North Front Street, as insurance proceeds related to the Pike Plan litigation were placed in the fund balance in 2018. So increase contracted services, $165,000, and decrease fund balance, $165,000. How much was put in the fund balance? 300 and...
Well, there was just over 300 in gross proceeds, but then there was litigation costs that brought that number down closer to, I believe it was 200,000.
Okay.
I think building a house is expensive, try to build a legal case.
So is there a motion here?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we can now move towards the budget transfers.
Two beers and some nails, you're done.
So you're just starting the budget transfers now, Doug?
Yeah,
What was that other item you just did? I don't see it on the agenda or anything.
it was not on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Old business.
And where did it come from? You had that or somebody gave it to you?
Yeah.
Who gave it to you? Who gave it to you to put on the agenda?
It's old business.
Is it old business or
Old business, but it was not on the agenda.
does anybody have a copy of it?
No, I think Jim's got a valid point.
Let me just see.
Oh, this is fund balance.
Jim,
What's the other one, man? He's holding on to his pants.
That dates back to the letter from John Schultes back in November to,
So was this
Finance
old
Committee
business,
had-
John, did you give it to Doug to put on? Is that,
no, I didn't give it to him.
who gave it to you?
Doug inquired about it. This is about the Pike Plan where it was on the December finance agenda.
Right, and I know just to redo the repair from the
Right.
building, and we were gonna decide tonight.
Doug asked about the status based upon the results of the survey. And then I think from there, it was just some internal conversations between Doug, myself, John Schultes, Kevin Bryant, just to get Doug the information he was looking for. So I'd say this is more of a
Okay, so,
finance committee,
so what are you deciding to do here, then you're gonna repair it?
repair 43 to 45 North Front Street at a cost not to exceed $165,000.
Okay, and that'll probably be pretty much the track you're gonna take on the rest of it, I would think then, right?
That was it.
That'll pretty much indicate what you're going to do with the rest of the Pike
And then
Plan?
we're asking the engineering manager to, study and look forward, what it's gonna take, if and how much it would cost to go forward.
Okay, but if you're fixing this section, it would make sense that you're gonna fix all the sections, right? Are you guys ready
You
to?
would think so, yeah.
Yep, that's what we're looking to do.
Okay. All right, and what's this other
Simple as
one?
it is.
Oh, that's much fun, okay,
yeah,
okay.
they're both related to.
You just signed Patrick.
Is this insurance money using for this, to pay for this? Yes. Okay.
Who put the pipe plan up originally, the DOT? Who paid for the pipe plan?
It was an urban renewal project in the early 70s.
Urban renewal.
I wasn't born yet.
Early 70s onwards.
You bragging.
You were in high school. You kidding me?
That was out of high
You were
school.
probably out of high school. You're out of high school, man. Urban renewal paid for that?
Well, they documented it and enforced it, and this man from Woodstock, it was an opportunity for him to make himself look good, and he did, and we're dealing with it. And incidentally, if you go up around there now, the 165 isn't coming anywhere near what it's gonna cost for the neighboring properties and so forth, both to repair the facades and to redo what's there. And this is the second time it's been done.
I recall the engineer saying that the bulkheads were spanned too far apart. And was said, I don't know if the engineer did any further investigating, looking to see other areas in the pipe plan that were deficient and corroded. Well, you're talking about one, but I haven't seen at this table any report or any anything from the city engineer on other areas in that pipe plan. Not one word. I've come to all the meetings and I've never heard any other further discussion on any other part of the pipe plan being corroded or compromised. And you know it's been compromised because they didn't do proper water repellent when they put the studs in and when they flashed the building and amongst other things. Now, I don't know if he looked any further than the area that you're talking about. I know he discussed saying the bulkheads were spanned too far apart and you have sagging. So you're getting into something now that's going to be a roller coaster downhill for you. So, that being said, thank you very much for listening.
Okay.
All right, I'm good. All right, we're gonna move on.
Budget transfers. First,
Yeah, just you can go in order. If you want me just to give you a quick highlight before we get into them. There was $524,000 in contingency prior to the transfers. There are two transfers that draw from contingency. One is the transfer from the fire department, which that amount's expected because when we did the transfer for the new fire contract, we did draw from contingency for their retro pay. We didn't put additional money in for the new salaries. Based on my analysis, that represents very close to the amount that the fire department's asked for contingency at the end of the year. The other withdrawal from contingency is various department transfer that I put in on behalf of mainly city hall departments. And a lot of that is retirement accumulations and we can talk about that when we get to that one if you'd like.
okay.
And those total approximately $250,000, so there'll still be in excess of $270,000 in contingency as we close the year out.
Okay, first one is from DP Public Works. Budget transfers from about 15 different accounts into 20 different accounts, totaling $175,991, zero financial impact.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
See, and these are pretty much done by department, so this was like DPW.
Okay, so that's these two. Okay, the next one is, says police department, but it's not police department.
Yeah, it's actually DPW.
DPW sewer contracted services at $13,308 to A transfer from regular pay, $13,308 into sewer contracted services, no financial impact.
This is just the DPW sewer accounts, they have to be done in a separate resolution.
Okay. The motion,
Motion. Second.
all in favor?
There's two there.
Aye.
It's two.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next, from the police department, an internal transfer of, just the one, $313,000.
No financial impact of this transfer.
Payroll, equipment, and revenue accounts to balance the year in budgets. The revenues include funds received from grants and U.S. Marshal Service reimbursement.
Motion.
Second?
Who's second, Tony?
Yes. Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Control of animals.
There's these.
Transfer of $250 out of veterinarian services and postage and freight.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
One?
Next one is fire department.
Motion.
Transfer of $321,143. There's a
No, it's this one.
financial impact, $128,716 out of contingency. Balance of 2018 fire department budget.
Once again, Doug, that's one of the transfers that we were expecting to have from contingency, because when we did the transfers for the retro pay, the new contract early in 2018, we didn't add money into their pay lines. Keep in mind, there was basically 3 years of increase in the 2018 budget, or 2 years of increase in 2018 budget for the contract.
Yes. Pat?
Object number 5116, Kelly Day payout. Sounds, I've never heard of that.
That is
You want it to be the O'Reilly payday?
I would like that.
it's a contractual payment to the fire department employees, because it's essentially to equivocate their pay to a 40-hour pay week, because they work slightly in excess of 40 hours.
To a 48-hour week.
Yeah.
So it's a Kelly Day?
So
The extra
Kelly-
money, that's the Kelly Day?
Kelly Day,
They
yes.
basically get accrual
Yes.
at the beginning.
But
of
they
the
don't,
days.
they don't have a choice now, they gotta take it out in money. They can't take it all.
You gotta be
We
Irish
pay
to
them
get
out.
it.
You gotta be Irish to get that one?
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Already motion.
All right. Motion by Steve, seconded by Tony. Okay? On the turf here.
Good enough.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, I'm in favor. Wastewater treatment facility request approval. Budgetary transfer 2018, the amount of $64,809.37, which there are two pieces to this. Wastewater treatment facility 61.8, 65.53, and pumping station $2,943.84. Again, the total is $64,809.37 for zero financial impact.
Motion.
Second.
Patrick O'Reilly is the second. All in favor?
Aye.
And you might wanna look at these lines, if there's something that you think, you know, out of whack or something, this is the time to ask the questions, because, like, just for example, if you have a lot of, you know, surplus money in one line and bringing it over to another line, why is that line surplus? Is it something that they just want in, and something that we'll look at the next budget cycle, you know, that kind of stuff? Just, you know, payroll, things like that, just to be aware of what's.
Right, and just so everyone's aware too, I mean, these are all budget transfers, so when we do the budget next year, these are what affect the modified budget. Remember when we looked at the, you know, the budget sheets, there was the original budget and the modified budget. So when we're pulling money out of accounts, that's reducing the original budget. So the modified budget, those accounts would be lower than the original budget. So when you're looking at the request for next year, you can compare the request to the modified budget to the original budget from last year. When I say last year, to 2018. So you will see these numbers all again on the budget sheets.
It would be nice to really compare, what, like, you know, like Jim is saying, with just looking at wastewater treatment.
Yeah,
So
well, that's
from
available,
to-
it just gives
Yeah.
you lines.
Correct, there's even lines, it doesn't really cover what it is, and I'm not sure if that can be rectified and have, like, what the actual name is. I'm not sure who we're talking about that.
Okay, here's, next one.
Instead of just.
Sorry, Tony, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, instead of just a number, it's
Instead of
like
just a,
GI or G1, 81, be nice to be able to know real quickly what that refers to, that number. Let's go forward.
Next one from the controller, request approval of 2018 budgetary transfers on behalf of various departments, and there are many, in the amounts of $299,137.53, of which the estimated financial impact through the various draws on the contingency is $121,359.35. You want to say any more about that?
Sure, I mean, my transfer, Tony, gives you what you're looking for, you see the actual
Correct.
amounts. What I did is I balanced out each department's budget within itself. So where I pulled the amount from contingency, you'll see it's within a department, you know, bus was $48,000 and change, communications was $1,600 and change, corp counsel was $31 and change, engineering was $40,000 and change. The engineering that's mainly for the separation service pay of the retiring engineer. And then there was a small one for human rights, but, so I tried, where the froms and the twos will equal for each department.
So the parks are next, like, 70, almost 7,600. And
What did you say, Park?
Parks and Recs.
Okay, that's a different, where are you looking, Parks and Rec?
Is this all on page 25, or sheet
Oh.
25?
Okay.
You see it?
Oh, that's just deeds and
Oh,
claims, yeah.
But when and if the city or
Take over.
takes over, that's gonna,
Well, there'll have to be transfers for there's gonna be various transfers for the whole deeds budget section, because it's gonna change the nature of that whole budget, when it's ours internally versus contracting out, having contract employees and revenues that are coming from a commission, that'll go away. So,
like the engineering department, it's like almost 12,000 part-time employees. What's
well, we're pulling that out. They had an employee who left early.
okay?
economic, parks. Engineering. I have a couple questions. Exam fees? Civil service exam fees?
Right, so those are
City
fees
pays?
that they have to pay. No, this is actually the portion that we have to return to New York State Civil Service. So we collect exam fees.
And then you have to pay out.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
okay,
So-
John. How about advertising, $2,000 in planning? Planning advertises?
What page you on?
I'm on page 26,
Legal
last.
notices.
Yeah, legal notices, yeah.
Legal notices, thank you.
Anyone want to move on this? Other questions then, if no one's making a motion?
Make the motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Can I just ask one more question of our council?
Oh,
Sorry, Steve. Kevin,
Here.
Kevin, you have a part-time employee?
At this point, no.
Okay. But you did?
At one point, yes.
Court fee, $6,000, is that something we have to pay on a regular basis? Is that like a fee to go to court?
Filing fees.
Filing fees?
So we deal with in-rem, and everything that you do with the court that you want to file incurs a cost.
Okay, thank you.
It's all covered.
Next is request approval of 2018 sewer fund budgetary transfers for various departments in the amount of $22,375 with zero financial impact.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Parks and Recreation,
I have a new
Oh.
one for them.
huh?
I haven't, they redid theirs, they have,
I
the
think
one,
this is what
Yeah,
you gave me,
I
I have it,
They have
so
the
it has a
update
zero
now.
financial impact? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah. You want to tell us what this is, because I'm not sure I understand it. The zero financial impact.
Right.
I see,
This is similar to, say, DPW's. They're just moving money from and to various accounts totaling, I have 142,489.68 with no financial impact. There's no drawn contingency for the transfers.
what's this $5,828.90?
That's the old one. That's the old transfer.
Ah,
So this is the one I have here.
so this is the old one here?
That's the old one. That's what
Okay. Hold on, just,
Okay, let's see what you have done. And you need the from, do you have the froms? It's just the twos, do you have the froms? No,
two,
there should be, these are the two accounts. I don't see the from. Oh.
This is on the second
is this the
page.
front?
No,
Huh?
You need this?
here, you can use mine, just, this is both, this is the full set.
New one, 142,000.
Here, Doug, if you wanna get up back to it, this is the full. Here.
So what,
So once again, it's transfers totaling
so I
104.
don't want that.
Yeah, this is, it's incomplete.
Okay. Okay, all right, now we got it. Okay, transfers of $142,489.68. Zero financial impact. Parks and Recreation.
And a motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? I didn't hear all the ayes on that.
You want to hear, we're going to be passing around? Either gonna sign yes or sign no.
Okay, police. I don't have any more. Did I miss them?
No, that's not.
We got them all?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I think that completes it all. Is the motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
I-
Okay.